Didn't get 2.5, 2.3 plus, a little bit better. I would say, as an outside observer, mixed bag.
You know, it's always a mixed bag when what you're trying to do is support the community. Because you can grow, you can have a growth. We had about 1-point-something% growth, which is, you know, flat on certain numbers. Other numbers were really up in our campaign. But when you compare it to that, our need doesn't take a break. The need in the community is always going to be higher. It almost feels like we've got to be striving every single day, not every year, but on a daily basis to say, that was great, what can we do tomorrow to grow and make more people get involved and let people understand that although we had success, although we're able to serve 1 in 4 people in our community, we're still not able to serve them the way we want to.
With the respect of you being the leader of the organization, and with all due respect to the campaign co-chairs and those who are in the trenches, during the campaign, pluses in the campaign and maybe challenges that 2019
Sure.
can meet.
Absolutely. I already know those because they keep me up at night and they wake me up in the morning. They make me get out of bed. One of the pluses for us is that our leadership challenge continues to be strong. We've grown the leadership challenge from 0 to 30,000, from 30,000 to 80,000. And every time we've grown the challenge, we've been able to grow the amount of people giving to match it so that we could continue to grow. So that was a real positive for us. In fact, we raised twice as much as we needed in that very particular challenge. So one of the challenges is how do we grow the actual pot? How do we grow the match so that we can generate more for our campaign? Another one of our pluses is really that I might be the leader. I'm the guy that's on the camera right now. I'm the guy that's on the microphone. But it really is a community campaign. And one of the pluses that we have is we have 20 volunteers that go out and act as though they're working for United Way, but they're just volunteering to raise money. We have 200 employee campaign coordinators that volunteer inside of their companies to do it. So that's a real plus. If it was just me, we would not have raised $2.3 million. You know, it's just not possible. Some of the things that are challenges for us is businesses are busier than ever, which doesn't necessarily lend itself to spending more spare time with United Way. So although they're very engaged and they're very interested in helping us do what we do, they have businesses to run. And we know that they're running hard and we have to be good partners to them just like we want them to be good partners to us.
Patrick, one more bottom line question, then I want to get another aspect, a couple aspects of it. One more bottom line question is this. Since the carrot, if you want to put it, or the bar was set at 2.5. It's like 3 years, 4 years now.
Yes,
it has not been reached.
Yes.
Is it just going to be a case like the other bar before? Yeah. Just keep it there until you finally get it?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Some people, some United Ways even around the nation would say that you shouldn't set a goal you can't reach. But what we started to do is we started to redefine goal. And about 6 years ago, you were here, you remember those days. About 6 years ago, we said, what do we need? Not what do we think we can raise, but what do we need? And that number continues to grow. And we want the community to know what that number is. And we've held it at 2.5. It's a nice round number. If we'd have raised 2.5 this year, then of course we'd grow that. But we want the community to know that there's more out there than we can currently do. So even when we're only growing at 1% or only growing at 3% or only growing at whatever we might grow next year, we want to tell the community what's needed.
Patrick, you mentioned about what the money will be used for and some of the core needs, but you touched upon something a lot of people on the lakeshore feel is perhaps the number one need in this area right now, affordable housing, and United Way is in the vanguard in that regard.
We are definitely a large part of affordable housing projects, and we have so many partners. I could list them all here, but they're all on our website of who we fund for that. Ottawa Housing Next was created about 3 years ago, converted to an action arm this year for housing called Housing Next. We operate more than $1.3 million in federal and state funding for the local community, and then we invest about another $300,000 of local community dollars into that. Housing is a cornerstone for us. If we can provide a struggling family with safe, secure, appropriate housing, a lot of other things in their world fall into place.